everybody, my name is Lauren and I'm so excited to welcome you back to Messy Kitchen Happy Belly. I love making quiches to get my day started. It's a really nice breakfast when I'm just running out of the house for work, or it's a nice way to just kind of start the weekend on a chill note and have a nice breakfast to enjoy. So tonight we're making a great pancetta and leek quiche with some grated Gruyere. It's going to be lovely. I'm excited to show you. Let's get started. Okay everybody, so to start things off, what I've got is my pancetta on the stove. It's sauteing at about a medium heat. I've also preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to let my pancetta saute for about 10 minutes or until it browns up. You want to get it just a nice kind of bacony brown color. And then what I'm going to do is take it off of the heat and put it onto a paper towel so that that excess fat can drain off, because you don't want to put that in your quiche. It'll just give you a greasy quiche. So once that's started, my next step is getting all my leeks and garlic ready. So now that I've got my pancetta on the stove and my oven is heating up, I want to get my aromatics ready for the quiche. What I've done here is slice my leeks very, very finely. I cut the two ends off of the leek itself and then cut it long ways again, and then cut very small, kind of celery cut on this so that it's very fine. I also put 2 cloves of garlic through the garlic press so that it got a nice minced texture to it. Finally, my last step of prep is to get my pie crust ready. So what I've got here is just a raw pie crust, and I've put a little bit of Pam in the pie pan before I put the crust in. The next thing I'm going to do is put my tin foil on the outside of here, fit it to the pan, shape itself, but don't mash too difficultly. Then I've got some pie weights here. I bought some official pie weights, but you don't have to. You can use nuts or dry beans for this. Those work perfectly. Nuts are nice too, because then you've got some roasted nuts on here. So what I like to do is fill my pie crust all the way up, get these evenly distributed so that you've got a little bit of weight on the bottom, and I'm going to pre-cook my pie crust before I put the quiche filling in. That makes the whole texture really nice and buttery and light, as opposed to that raw dough that you can get otherwise. The pie weights, or beans or nuts, whatever you choose to use, make it so that the inside of the crust doesn't bubble up and then you get a really awkwardly shaped pie. So I'm going to put this in at 350 degrees for 15 minutes so that it gets a little bit of pre-cook on it, and we're going to fill it with our leeks, pancetta, custard, and Gruyere. Great, so now I've got my pie crust ready to go. It's been pre-baked, and I'm going to make my custard for the quiche. In this bowl I've got 4 eggs, and I'm going to add 3/4 a cup of fat-free half and half. You can add real cream if you like, but I like to just keep mine a little bit lighter because I'm going to go overindulgent with the cheeses. So just 3/4 of a cup there. And I like to add my spices in here. So about a teaspoon of pepper, about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. Ooh, maybe that's a little too much. And then some thyme will be really nice in here. So again, about half a teaspoon of thyme. Good. So give that a good mix. And that's all you need for your custard. I've got my leeks sauteing while I get this custard ready. They're going to take about 4 minutes over low-medium heat, or medium-low. And then after about 4 minutes, I've added my garlic. Don't want to get that garlic started right away. You want to give that a couple minutes. Okay, great. So I've got my custard ready. I have my pre-baked pie shell. It's not completely baked, obviously, but I just got a little bit of the raw dough out of it. And the next thing I'm going to do is add my leeks. So my leeks are done, and now I just want to add them into the bottom of my pie crust here. Make sure I get them all in there. We're going to do a little bit of layering effect here. So I get my leeks in, spread them out nicely so that every bite has a little bit of leek in there. I've got my pancetta, which has been resting on its paper towel so that it drains off some of its grease. Get that all in there. Add some lovely flavor. again, just make sure that's well mixed throughout the pie filling. Lovely. I'm going to put about half of my cheese in here. So I've got a cup of shredded Gouda. I'm going to put about half of that down here on the bottom. And I've got half a cup of shredded Parmesan, and also half of that on the bottom of here. Then I'll pour in my egg and half mixture. Get that all over the top. Make sure it's evenly distributed and pouring into all of these little crevices. Great. And then I'm going to finish up with the rest of the cheese so that we get a really nice golden crust on top of this quiche. Make sure that's all well spread out. Get my Parmesan on here. Fabulous. And finish that up. Okay, so this quiche is ready to go in the oven. I'm going to put it in for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. But when I take it out, I'm going to just make sure there's no wiggle left to it. You don't want your quiche to be wobbling around and make sure your eggs aren't completely cooked in there. So about 30 minutes at 350, and I'll see you when it's done. Okay guys, so my quiche has been in the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees, and it is set up well. When I do the wiggle test, the whole thing does not jiggle and the center stays solid. So I know that my eggs are cooked through, and I know that it's set up well. So thanks so much for watching. I'll give this a slice and I'll let you see the most beautiful quiche you've ever seen. And please let me know what you liked out of this video, what you want to see next time, and please click that pretty little subscribe button. See you soon. Thanks so much. Have a great night, and Messy Kitchen, happy belly.